نائب لي حسن. دو أفاني عبد الكريم. س علي محسن. جهار مرتضى جابر. بنت ميثم الكوفي. يك مقدمة. دو تعريف. س له موقع ما يتوان ذاك دعائي كرد. جهار يركز مسؤول حل اختلافات. اس بنت تميز بين ادعاء واختلاف. 6 طرفي الدعوة. هف طبقة بين دعاوي دور قرار داي فايدة. هس أولي الشر دعائي بين اس كي قبل اس أخذ قرار داي إيجاد ميشود. ن إلزام دوام مطالبات ناسي إز إجراء برواز. د شروط سوم ادعاء هاي نشاي إز نقل قرار داردي. جاز ده شر جهار من مطالبات ناشي إز فسق قرار داي إز. دو ده شرائط آراء الدعاء. سنده إزده نحو الكري إز ادعاء قرار داي دار إز. جهار داي خلاصة. بنده نيچه كردي. مقدمات بيني تارتا ساختمان وساختمان بمجموعة إز قرار داي هاي بيستوي بوجده باريس هماز دهاي روابط متقابل بين كارما فارما بينما كار ومهندس مواجهة بتغييرات كادر إجراء كاينايز داينايز انداردا. تعريف ومعاني مطالبات ادعاها معمولة بين طرفين. قرار دهاي ساخت وسادة إيجاد ميشود. انهاء بدلالي مع ذات تأخير وتغيرات. بيش بين أنشدة وإطلاعات نشاسي وجود ميعان. تعريف ادعاها دور قرار ده هاي مهندسي مبلغة SK توسط. بينما نكاري عنوان جبران بهاري إضافي كي هانكم إمضائي قرار دهاي بار.
Okay, please continue.
The engineer
Please continue.
Yes. Dictor, please, engineer Ali Mohsen.
Okay, Mr. Ali Mohsen, please continue.
Thank you, Doctor.
السلام عليكم دكتور. السلام عليكم دكتور. Are you hear me, دكتور؟
Yes, Mr. Nissan.
نعم. Okay, دكتور. Very well. Consulting engineer. Who is responsible for settling disputes? The consulting engineer in the FIDE contract who has to show a degree of impartiality and fairness in studying it. The settlement of the dispute arising between the employer and the contractor depends on the estimates and instruction of the engineer regarding those claims. Parties to construction contracts. There are division to three: the engineer, contractor, employer. Distinguish between a claim and a dispute. There is a strong relationship between disputes and a claim within the framework of the FIDIC model contract, but a distinction must be made between them. Number one, the claim can be submitted directly as a dispute, whether it is before the consulting engineer, the dispute resolution board, or the arbitral tribunals. Number two, a dispute. That is an argument verbally between two parties and arises only a refused claim by one of the parties are rejected by the other party. Distinguish between a claim and a dispute. Although the claim is in fact considered close to the dispute, there are differences between them, the most important of which are the amicable or arbitral settlement or does not respond only to a dispute.
Mr. Haysan,
Yeah, Victor, yeah.
you speak about which page? Which page you speak about this?
15.
15?
15, yeah.
Okay. You can see this slide and we'll speak about that.
I will again, Victor.
Okay.
Distinguish between a claim and distinguish between a claim and dispute. Although the claim is in fact considered close to the dispute, there are differences between them, the most important of which are the amicable or arbitral settlement or does not respond only to a dispute between the parties to the contract and not just a claim. And that the claim must be submitted first to the engineer to exhibit his opinion on it, to prepare his estimates in it, and if it is rejected by the contractor, he must confirm that the writing. Another bit, please, Victor.
Yes.
Third series. There are division for the three: conflict, claim, dispute. Another bit. Feminine parties. The parties to the construction contract are the parties to the claim, meaning that the claim is between the employer and the contractor. The claims may be submitted by the contractor against the employer alone, or he may file them jointly against the employer and the consulting engineer. Submit against the subcontractor, either as for the employer, he is entitled to file a claim against the main contractor or against the consulting engineer. However, the practical reality and the application of the FIDIC contract resulted as an important fact.
I don't hear you. Haysan, I don't hear you. Please speak. Okay. think the net is so poor. Where do you live? What's your city's name? I think it's related to the city. For example, in Baghdad, maybe it's good, but in other cities is moderate or bad. Autumn in Najaf. It's in Najaf. And another one. Afali. Afali. Continue this seminar because I don't have enough time to wait for Mr. Isa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Afani.
Okay, Mr. Afani, can you continue?
Yes, yeah. Just
Okay.
page 17. Okay.
Yes.
The climbing parts. The parts to the transaction contract are the parts to the client, meaning that the client is between the employer and the contractor. Claims may be submitted by the contractor against the employer alone, or he may file the jointly against the employer and the consulting engineer. Submitted against the subcontractor, either as for the employer, he is entitled to file and claim against the main contractor or against the consulting engineer. However, the particular related in applications of the typical contractor result in the important fact, which is the contractor represents the majority of the claimants because of the preparation of the main contractors and the subcontractors is greater than the preparation of the employers and consulting engineers. The next, please, next page.
Yes, 18.
Page 80. Classification of the client in the FIDIC contract. Number one, the client based on the articles of the contract that suitable and specific the agreement. Number two, client based on the theory of the breach of the contract. While other divide into two parts of the basis of how submit the claim. Number one, claim submitted by the employer to the contractor. Number two, claim submitted by the contractor to the employer. Next page, please.
Yes, 19.
Page 19. This is speak about the claiming. The first requirement is clients arising before contracting. It speak about the claim and the problems which make before contracting. Okay. One of the, are you with me?
Yes, please continue.
One of the most important claims that arising before the parties sign the contract. Number one, in the case of the contractor confirming that the employer refused the bid without giving reasons. Number two, there is an unintentional error in the contractor's calculations submitted in the bid, which affected the price. Number three, there is an ambiguity in one of the documents submitted to the contractor. Number four, the delay of the bid referral commit in the issuing the award decision to the winning contractor. Number five, failure to give private information by the employer regarding soil examination. Another page 20.
Yes.
It is the second requirement is claims that arise during the implementation of the project. It is speak about the claim and program, and problem which make during the project. Okay.
Yes.
Number one, detect the implementation of the contract. The contractor's claims may arise as a result of the defect in the implementation of the contract due to non-payment of payments regularly or as a result of change in labor price or as a result of the emergency of the physical obstacles or unexpected natural conditions that obstruct implementation. Next page, please. This is complete for the second requirement is a claim that arises during implementation of the project. Number two, claims may arise as a result of the employer's wrong choice of the consulting, engineering, or designer due to the lack of experience. Number three, acceleration or the pressure of workers. It may cause the emergency of a client, and this occurs when the employer asks the contractor and for circumventions beyond his control to perform a group of workers in a shorter time, as if the contractor completes the works before the agreed time. Page 21. The third requirement, claims arise for violation of the contract. Any breach or failure in the contract by the contractor entails the right of the employer to demand the amounts incurred in excess of the contract amount for the purpose of completing the project according to the required specification, in addition to the damage that befall the employers as a result of the project delay due to the difficulty or determining such damage. Most construction contractors contain an agreement in which a delay fine is imposed for each day of delay or abandonment of the project. Next page, please.
Yes,
23, fourth requirement. Claims arising as a result of termination of the contract. Termination of the contract may occur as a result of reason specific to the contractor, and it may happen for reasons specific to the employer. And in each of these cases, the parties affected by the termination of the contract has the right to claim the other parts for its dues arising from the termination of the contract. Next, please. Page 24. Claim terms. Number one, the claim must be based on the terms of the contract concluded between the employer and the contractor. Number two, the claim must be written in the form of the notification as the oral claim is rejected. Number three, the claim must be supported by the documents that prove the right to this claim, such as records, minutes of the meetings, videos, film, or everything that can be used to establish this right. Number four, when submitting a claim, the data must be observed, and if the claims are submitted after those data, it will not be considered. Number five, the claim must be submitted before the completion of the work and handed over. The next, and this is the last page for me, okay? How to avoid declines into the contract. Avoiding declines is one of the most important stages in claims management and organization, as the aim is to write the construction project of the largest possible number of claims and thus reduce costs and additional periods related to them. For the purpose of achieving this, there are many measures that can be taken by the construction project management and the main contractor, and the following is a brief presentation of the steps to be followed. I finished. You can give the mic for Mr. Ali Mohsen. دكتور. الو. خلي يسمعنا دكتور والله علي خلي يسمعنا وبعدين نبدي. Okay. I will finish دكتور. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. السلام عليكم. مساء علي. Continue please.
دكتور صفية بديت في شيء.
Please continue.
The stage of preparing the document. This stage is considered the cornerstone in the process of controlling the performance and avoiding disputes. This stage the business owner or his consulting engineer should be accurate in estimating quantities and strict technical specification for construction works. And to the site on the measure of the soil of the project will be there with the number say the design abbreviation on rotation. Another slide. Perfect. Victor.
Yes, continue. Page 27.
Overall state, the assignment state is the responsibility of the entire his consulting engineer. They must evaluate and study the base and work between the needs among them. Number one, the goal to the is the accommodation that it be that loss. Number two, study the future operation of the platform for assignments. Up here, the list.
Yes, page 28. Please continue. I change it.
Confirmation page. The stage is considered the stage is considered one of the most important stages of the project. As part that keys to the construction contract as well as the construction vision and its being participate in it. Software this abstract. This is correct. Contract distinguished the concept of needs and the concept of distributed is it decided for each of them certain division and the decks needs and construction contracts are become again. Another construction where to divide the contract with the employer to each other as the possibility of needs to the contract for we submit deal against the employer or against. The employer and the consulting engineer are jointly liable and we file again the subcontractor. Therefore, these claims have become the effects of a contract. الآن دكتور انجينير مرتضى.
Yes. Okay. Page. Yes. Page 10. Conclusion. Mr. Morteza. Please speak. Your microphone is activated. No, please click the microphone. It should be good. Yes. Now, please speak. I cannot hear you. I think it's related to the net. No. Your microphone should be green. Yes, now green and you can speak about. Just a minute for Mortez. Okay. I'm waiting for Mr. Mortez, but we don't have enough time. Please faster. Yes, Mr. Zia. Zia Mohsen, you can attend the seminar after this recording, no problem. If Mr. Murtaza cannot speak about the seminar, other participants can read it and finish the seminar. Okay. Because of the time,
دكتور, are you happy?
yes. Yes, you can.
I call with Murtada and he training just a minute. If he can't, I will read as him. Okay?
Yes, you can read the conclusion instead of Murtaza.
Okay. Page 13, conclusion. Number 1, the claim of the employer and the client of the consulting engineer in the construction contract headache arise as a result of the contractor's breach of the obligation or to convenience the employer for any expensive incurred for reasons attributable to the contractor, and may arise as a result of the refusal of materials or works or the contractor failure to implement the engineer instruction as a result of the contractor delay in the termination of works or due to termination of the contract for reasons attributable to the contractor.
Okay, thank you. Next page.
Just 3 pages and small.
Okay, continue.
Number 2. As for the claim of contractor or subcontractors, they arise as a result of the contraction, ambiguity or error in the documents or in the design or plans, or as a result of the exactness of circulating or material obstructor or business interruption, as well as arising as a result of the employer's delay in payment, in addition to the special risk claim that borne by the employer. Next and finish. I think. Number 3, the employer compared to the contractor can protect his interest and support his position in the claims by withholding all or part of the wage until the contractor adjusts his position and adheres to the contractor, since the employer is one who pays the contract's wage. Sorry. I think it's finished. The next, please.
No, that is 33.
Enough? Okay.
Number 4.
Oh, okay. Number 4. It's 10. Sorry, it's 10. Number 4, the purpose of the specific periods for submitting notice, documents, and details supporting the client is to give the engineer the opportunity to inspect the site and examine the circumstances surrounding the client. Number 5, it is properties. What?
Yes, continue. 34.
Okay, 34. Number 5, it is a properties of the contract in construction contractors in general, and in the particular, the FIDE contract, to adopt a clear strategy before starting the implementation of the project regarding problems that occur during implementation. Thank you. It is enough.
Okay, thank you for presentation. And now another group wants to start the presentation. Group 10, Mr. Zia, Mohsen, which participant want to start as the first presenter? Mr. Zia?
مرحبا، عيني مرتضى. انا خليتك تحت الماي، قلت له عيني مرتضى عنده مشكله بالانترنت، هسه خابرته هو اللي راح يقرا الجزء مالته. قال لي لا.
Mr. Zia. Okay. Now you can upload the slide and I see microphone. Mr. Zia Mohsen Raed. Where is Raed? Alef. Sahar. Mr. Zia, where is other participant in your group? Raed, Talib, Sahar, Anwar. Where is them? I think your group is not ready to presentation. Oh, another participant attend the class. Do you hear me? Please active your microphone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Mr. Zia, where is another participant? Attend the class in Monday?
Yes, Dr. Yeah.
Okay, please continue. Upload this slide
Okay.
and speak about your Presentation.
This seminar has been sent on WhatsApp. You can present it from you, please.
Which one?
Tender in your country. In WhatsApp.
Please send it to me again.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Please wait. Okay, please continue.
Okay, Victor. Tender you in your country by ويا محسن علي، رعد عبد الله شعلان، سحر سعد مهدي، أنوار محمد هاتف، سجاد عبد الأسياد. You tender in your country introduction. The public tender is the basic method for concluding administrative contracts. Other slide, please.
Introduction.
Introduction. The public tender is the basic method for concluding administrative contract, and it is a set of procedure that the legislation decides to follow as one of the contract methods that the administration follow to contract with people or companies, whether they are national or foreign, and it is the original method of contract in most legislation and the most common. I will start with my treatment of the topic from the public tender method, which is based on the person of the number of this wishing to contract with the administration that's wishing to the contract compete among themselves to submit bids. The administration chooses the best technical and financial in light of their qualification and experience, and according to evaluation criteria announced in the tender documents. The administration resorts to public tender method when it went to implement general contracting or obtain goods or adversary service concluded on the state general budget. Other slide, please. The objective of the public tender system is to manage the proper selection of the competent and technical capable contractor that perform the contract and serve the financial interest of the management. This system is based on several basic principles, namely freedom of competition, equality, and equal opportunities. In order to perform the management function in meeting public needs, it is necessary in some cases to contract with country people because of their experience. So it resort to conclusion of administrative contract as the legal means that support it in the performance of the function. Assigned to it, this on the one hand and disagreed development in aspects of the life on the other hand, prepared the administration to adopt large, important and complex strategic project to advance the way of economic development. This project required high technical and technical expertise and qualification that might not be available to national or local contracts and companies, or the goods to be approaches are not manufactured local, so that direction of management is the international public tender method. Other slide, please, Doctor. Allowing foreign people and companies to enter it, and it has been increased the number of contracts, concluding by the development with the foreign contract who possesses economic power such as international war contracts, supply and import contracts, and compilation contracts. These contracts are implemented by the administration according to the original method of contract stipulated by the legislator. And these contracts have legal and economic weight because they are contracts for the implementation of an structure project, which are considered among the most important and economy vital stabilization contribute to achieve the economic development of the country to which the contracting department is evaluated as for a country to which the foreign contract applied. It considers more job opportunities and capital growth, and for this reason, these contracts are the great importance given the role that this play in the economic development of countries. Other slide, please, Doctor. Please. Yes. They are considered on of the manifestation of economic development and approaches in the legal regulation of contracting with the international level. In addition to its role in determining the jurisdiction to settle management contract disputes with the foreign contracts. The role of the contracting parties when determining the law applicable to the contract and competent judicial authority that settle disputes in these contracts might have an express choose when it provides for the determination in the contract. The choose might be implicit in the absence of the provision in the contract by searching for induction or clues that they are identified, such as the direct of parties will toward the specific law refer in the mode contracts the case of exclusion. The union of the nationality of the contracting parties, the currency of payment, or the language of the contract. The most important principle that governs the management contract with the foreign contract, rather than the payment of the extent in practice, is subordination to the role of management law, and this role play major role in the field of contracts in general. Especially management contracts with the foreign contractor by specifying the application of the contracts and determining the required law, the application to the contract, which is called country law. Bidding might generally by open public tender and might be limited or restricted in this section. We will deal with each of the two types mentioned above into separate orography with a statement of the section in the figure. Other slide, please. Terms of tender divided by the competition direct agreement. The competition divided by the competition parties, public tender, limited tender, and local tender. The parties divided by general parties, limited parties, and local parties. Open public tender. Coordination participation in the however has want and here the administrator the obligated to choose the one who offers the lowest process and secures the state the largest possible burden as the enter of the largest possible number of competitory means the possibility of awarding the bid with the lowest possible bid among the total bids that will be submitted to auditing the contracting. This method is also a portion of the principle of equality and the freedom of competition between the contracting parties. It is often followed in contracted that do not require much technical knowledge from management and which general applicants can do. This method is the general principle, where the exhibition is restricting the tender and making it limited to some tenders. In the Iraq legislation, the public tender method was also adopted as the first paragraph of the Article 3 of Instruction for Implementing Government Contract Number 2 of 2014, intended that this method, that is a public tender, is implemented by advertisement, the general invitation to all those wishing to participate in the implementation of contracts of all kinds, and from the condition of participation are available, and that procedure are characterized by generality, competitiveness, justice, openness, clarity, and observance of the established initial silence. In the instruction for implementing the federal budget when adopting this method, these powers in contracting have been given to the head of administrative body of however he authorizes and open proposal from the head of the administrative formation to implement public contracts, whether nationally or internationally, open following it and to the open public tender. The third article approved mentions another method of public tender, which is a new method that was added according to the instruction in force, which is public tender by way of technical qualification. Number 10, please, Doctor. This method is implemented by announcing the bid to all those wishing to participate by submitting their technical and commercial bids into spare envelopes at specified pairs, taking into account the opening of technical bids and their study by the analysis committees and the contracting authorities to announce the qualified contractors who meet the condition required in opening commercial bids for qualified bidders, with at least 3 to select the best bid from the analysis committees, taking into account the financial powers approved for rival purpose in the record. After that, a commercial bids from tenders who are not technically qualified are returned to their bidders without opening them and completing the analysis and contracting procedure according to what is followed in this record. In this regard, we note that the instructions were more local when describing tender as a way conclude government contracts that are spent on the federal budget. It should be noted that most of the legislation included legal restriction on the other of the administration in the public tender, as the competence of the administration in choosing the contractor with it restricted due to the permanent commitment to the necessity of contracting with the lowest priced bidder, which is known as the ordering principle, and it is commitment also not to revert the bid. Excusing and complying with the deadline for submitting bids and has authority is limited the extent to which the contract fulfills the contraction announced for entering into the tender or not. Did you start? Limited or restricted tender. It is a special formula for tenders, and it depends on the automatic awarding at the lowest price, but the competition in it is restricted so that only the candidates are selected by the administration because of the beneficial and the financial grounds they provided, because the subject of the contract is of a special technical, natural, and diverse from predecessor in terms of determining who is entitled to participate in bidding. The right to participate in it is limited to companies and persons who are now in terms of technical and financial ability and ability to carry out certain subject for the contract, where this is not take into account the technical aspect only. But this administration is applied in some tenders, social or economic contraction. Please, other slide.
Mr. Zia? Mr. Zia?
Yes, Victor. Yes, Victor.
How many pages you want to read it?
Very Victor.
How many pages you want to read it?
13.
13? Okay.
Very.
This is 13. Please continue. This is the page 13.
The requires given the administration with power that choose the contractor as it said in advance as a list of the name of the person who are entitled and they are allowed to apply for this tender. And this tender also resorting to it is expansion from general origin according to the introduction of the public tender method in administrative contract, but is constitutes a development of the public tender through which the administration can submit some people whom it to high qualification to contract with it. In our Article 3, paragraph 2 of the instructions for implementing government contract applicable to the limited tender method, stipulates that this method is used when the goods, adversary, service, or contracts subject of the tender are available with certain authorities in terms of jurisdiction for the purpose or submitting their bids according to specification and design term and condition prepared by the contracting and department. 14, please. Doctor, please. 14. Other slide. By the
Mr. Zia,
yes, Doctor.
how many pages you want to read it?
14, Doctor.
14?
Yes.
Okay. This is the last page?
Right.
Okay, continue, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. By announcing to all those wishing to participate by submitting their bids that fulfill the condition of participation in return for pairs and according to procedures. The first procedure includes receiving document related to the legal, technical, and financial qualification of participant and evaluation tender by specialized committee in the contracting authority in accordance with the technical, financial, and legal qualification conditions required to reach a selection of qualified person to participate. The second procedure provided that their number is not less than 3 qualified. Yes, Doctor.
Yes. It's finished.
Continue or stop at this point to complete by 2 weeks. Next Monday.
Yes. For you, that's enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For presentation. Okay. Okay, thank you for all the students in the class, and thank you for other participants that present the seminar. For today, it's enough, and we will continue this class in next session. See you in next Tuesday, inshallah. Bye.